I'm Janice from 5minutesfrommom.com. We're here in Houston, Texas at the Mom 2.0 Summit, and with me is Isabel Kalman from alphamom.com. Isabel, I love Alpha Mom. Quickly tell me, what is your site about?
Alpha Mom is a parenting website, and we have wonderful writers talking about everything from holidays and crafts to pregnancy. We have a baby name search engine, a product reviews engine, and a whole bunch of videos on parenting and pregnancy as well.
Your site is packed full of awesome content. When I go there, I spend a lot of time.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you like it.
You just go from one awesome thing to another. But your background is quite exciting and different. Can you tell us a bit about where you were before you were online?
Sure. I worked on Wall Street for 10 years, and it was a completely different environment. It was a lot of fun. It was a tough job, but I felt very much in control. And I left it when I had my son because I had to get in every day at 6:30 a.m.
At 6:30 a.m., you're usually doing a feed and changing a diaper.
Right, but it's very different. We have to be in the office with heels on and dressed up at 6:30.
Ow.
And it's very different. And I knew that it wasn't necessarily going to be my life's calling. It wasn't something that I was very passionate about. I was very good at it, and I liked it and for what it was, but I knew that I didn't want to have it as, for the rest of my life. And when I became a new mom, I just went into an unbelievable period of mother shock. I mean, I remember getting my son and wanting to run away, but I wasn't going to. I just didn't know what to do. And
isn't it amazing how many of us did go through that mom shock? We were talking with Kristen Chase about her own mom shock, and that's what's so fabulous about the online mom community is that we now have a way of sharing and finding other people and finding an outlet for those long, lonely days when you're by yourself with this baby and trying to adjust to this completely different life.
Oh, I mean, what I realized is I wasn't going to run away. And instead I ran to Google. That's where I ran. It's like, that's where I went. And I found friends all across the country, people who were also going through the same thing. I think it's a myth that mothering comes naturally. I think it does. I think you do have a maternal instinct, but in a way it's very hidden. And some of us need to kind of find that maternal instinct, and it requires some work. I didn't have it, and so, but I think that there's a lot of women like me. I found millions of women like me. And that was the thing that was the most shocking to me, because when I was on Wall Street, I felt I had never been scared of anybody I worked with on Wall Street. And I worked on a tough trading floor, some really tough guys.
But nothing more terrifying than that little newborn baby when it started to cry and you didn't know how to stop it.
Exactly. That was the most terrifying experience of my life.
I remember when my son was 3 days old and my mom was there helping me, and I remember she was going to go to a funeral, and I said to her, "You can't leave me, it will start crying and I won't know how to stop it."
No, and the truth is that we do need more support. I think that it's wonderful. We go to school, we learn how to write papers and how to interview, but no one really teaches us how to be a mom. We have to learn it on our own, and our children are our own teachers. We read the book of them. But we also need the support to be like, hey, everything's going to be all right.
It's gonna be okay. The difference between having my second child and my first child, I experienced postpartum depression quite severely with my first, and the difference of the second was that I knew that I could survive, and I knew that I wasn't the only person who felt intimidated. The first time around, I was by myself. I didn't have the online mom community. I thought I'm the only one that doesn't know what they're doing, and I was really, really overwhelmed. And the second time around, I knew, you know what? You're gonna live, the baby's gonna live, everybody's gonna be happy one day, and you can do it. And I love telling people now online and encouraging them that you can do it. It's gonna be scary at times, but we're here in there together. And that's the difference between now and in the old days, where I think there was more of a village, and the older women were teaching the younger women. But now we hand people a baby, we say, go home, you're in your house, your husband's off at work all day, you're with this baby all by yourself, and you're like, I don't know how to breastfeed, I don't know how to do this, and there's not that older generation teaching. So now, I think that's why blogging has gotten so successful, isn't it? Because there's a village. Now we have that community back.
And that village and that backyard is just it's an online village. It's an online backyard, and we have each other, and we know where to reach out in the middle of the night. Everybody's on, at some point somewhere in, if it's 3 in the morning in New York, it may be midnight, you know, on the West Coast, and there's someone there who can help you. It's fabulous.
The first site I ever went, long before I started blogging, when my son was, I was trying to sleep train my son when he was 9 months old, and it was the babywhisperer.com, and it was a forum, and I'd never typed into a forum or anything. This was in 2002. I'd never typed, and those people on that forum got me through the hardest nights of my life. I would sit there, I would go back to his room, and then I'd come running back and I'd type in, well, he's doing this, and what do I do? And the forum, the moderators would help me, and I swear, those people were my best friends at those moments.
Oh, it was priceless, I'm sure. I mean, that's invaluable, that kind of stuff, that kind of support. And you know what? I think people forget that in this culture, you know, we're in a society where not everybody lives so close to each other.
We're separated physically, and we're in these little houses of loneliness sometimes, when it's just us by ourselves, and that generation or the sisters, the people that were traditionally there, are physically removed to us due to location.
Yeah, or at least someone to kind of, you're absolutely right, or even someone who's there to just help you and see what's happening, and that can be there to help you out, you know.
So thank you so much for your site of Alpha Mom, which is such a resource. And I was saying in a previous interview that I seriously, when I was nursing my son at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd have Alpha Mom and I'd be watching Alpha Mom videos, and you are a great resource for that community. So thank you what you're doing for alphamom.com.
Thank you so much, Janice, for being here. This is a real honor.
Honor to interview you. So make sure that you guys visit alphamom.com, and thanks so much for watching us here at 5minutesformom.com.